Anyway, let's get into the 5 plot points here to kind of show what I'm talking about. And big spoiler warning from here on out for No Exit. Once again, I'm pulling these from the scriptlab.com. I think they're a useful tool in understanding structure and pacing. So let's start with the first big one, the inciting incident. This is the incident that will create the main tension in the story moving forward. And in No Exit, this is Darby discovering the kidnapped girl in the van outside of the visitor center. We've been introduced to Darby at this point. We know that she's an addict who has escaped rehab. We have also met the rest of our cast of characters at the visitor center. And now we need to start moving the plot forward. And so it's time to introduce the kidnapped girl who will be driving that plot moving forward. Also, I like to bring up the 17-page rule or the 17-minute rule. And this happens around 20 minutes into the movie. So there you go. Once again, it's not a hard or fast rule that your inciting incident has to happen 17 minutes or pages into your script or movie. But it's a way to get things moving and not wasting too much time with introductions. Plot point 2 is the lock-in. This is where our protagonist, in this case Darby, is locked into the predicament that is central to the story. And in No Exit, this is when Darby goes into the van and promises to Jay, the kidnapped girl, that she is going to save her. So there we go. Now our protagonist is tied to the main conflict in a way where there is no turning back. And it also marks the end of Act 1 and propels us into Act 2. The first culmination is the next plot point 3, and this is the second highest hurdle the character has to clear. I'll say this is the scene in the woods outside of the visitor center where Darby has to escape from the 2 kidnappers and get back inside of the visitor center. This is mainly an external conflict. Darby is just in full-on survival mode now. The combination of the external and internal conflicts will come later, and that is the lowest point and the highest hurdle for the character to clear, and that, of course, is plot point 4, the main culmination. This is the end of the second act, and it brings our main tension to a close. Also creates a new tension going into Act 3. And this is the moment when Darby, who has just lost her mother, which has been revealed to her via text, and she's also been stapled to the wall. And she's also been forced to reveal where the keys she hid earlier in the movie are. What she does is she takes a bump of cocaine so that she can then kind of numb the pain or psych herself up or get herself high to pull the nail out of her hand and take on the attackers. I like this in a structure sense because it's a combination of those internal and external conflicts that we've been talking about, but it also serves as the character's low point as she gives into her addiction and snorts cocaine, which is what she's addicted to. This also, though, is the biggest issue I have with the movie. In a story about a main character who is working on overcoming their addiction, the idea of an addict taking one last hit is a huge problem for me. It's also a misunderstanding, I think, of how cocaine works. I'm not an expert. Cocaine experts, please let me know if I'm wrong. But the idea here is that she needs the bump of cocaine to gain strength or numb the pain enough to pull the nail out. But how fast does cocaine work? It's pretty quick in No Exit. It's pretty much simultaneous. She snorts it and then pulls it out. This is where the movie lost me, this plot point. So for those reasons, for a couple of reasons, the final plot point, and then we will get out of here, is the third act twist. And this is an unexpected turn of events in the final act, and it's the last true test of the hero. And in No Exit, I will say this is when the cop arrives and is taken out by the kidnappers, leaving Darby to go it alone. This moment kind of keeps the audience on their toes and throws one last hurdle at the main character. If you like this and want to hear more, check out our podcast, Horror Movie Yearbook, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.